Hello, students of class 8. So, studying chapter number 1, that is crop production and management. Until now, we have learned up to manures and chemical fertilizers, right? So, because this chapter is little large, so what we will do is we will now take an overview of whatever we have learned till now. Okay, so we have learned about agriculture, right? What is agriculture? The science that deals with the raising of plants and rearing of animals for human use is known as what? Is known as agriculture. So this is a definition of agriculture. Okay. There we have learned about soil management, which is the preparing of the soil. Crop farming, that is growing and harvesting of crops. Horticulture, it means the growing and harvesting of fruit, vegetables, flowers and decorative plants. And animal husbandry, which is the breeding and raising of livestock including poultry. Okay, then we have studied how it all started. It all started 10,000 years ago, right? When humans started growing wheat and barley, and like this it has improved in modern agriculture. What we are doing, we have learned lots of techniques by using which we can produce more amount of crops, right? Then we have learned about crops and their classifications, right? And what is the land had on definition of the land where plants are cultivated is known as what? A field. Plants grown in large quantities in a field are known as what? Crop plants or crops. Okay. Then we have learned the crop based on products or obtained. It is the classification. The first one is what? Crops based on the products or obtained. Suppose wheat, barley, rice, ragi, all these are known as cereals. Pulses are gram, peas, beans, root and tuber crops are what? Sweet potato, topicana, tapioca, potato. Oilseed crops are what? Mustards, groundnuts, sunflower, right? Sugar crops are sugar cane and sugar beet. Plantation crops are coffee, tea, rubber, coconut, right? Fiber crops are jute, cotton. Okay. Then we have crop based on season. Kharif crops are the crops which are grown between summer, June and July, and harvested in September and October. Kharif crops. Rabi crops are grown in winter between October and November and harvested in March and April. That means Kharif are the summer season crops and Rabi are the winter season crops. Right? Okay. Now, then we have learned about crops based on life cycles. There are annuals, biennials, perennials. Annuals are the crops which dies life cycle is only 1 year. Biennials whose life cycle is 2 years, and perennials are those whose life cycle is more than 2 years. More than 2 years are known as what? Perennials. Okay. Then we have learned about the agricultural practices. In agricultural practices, whatever are there, first of all, preparation of soil, then selection and sowing of seeds, then manuring, irrigation, weeding, the protection of crops, harvesting, sessioning and winnowing, storage, right? Till now we have learned about preparation of soil, selection and sowing of seeds we have learned, manuring we have learned, right? How do we prepare the soil? First of all, we plow and level soil. How do we plow? The ancient method of plowing is what? Using a manual plow with the help of cow or a horse, right? But now what happens? We have these tractors. Modern agriculture, we use tractors, right? Then why do we need to plow? The reasons are the plowing allows roots to breathe easily, helps roots to go deep into the soil, enable fertilizers to mix uniformly with the soil, encourages organisms such as earthworms, millipedes, bacteria and fungi to increase in number. So this we have discussed in the previous classes, right? Then leveling is what? Suppose if the land is like this, it is not good. The land should be leveled like this, right? If it land is like this, somehow water will get stored more, somehow water will be not there, right? So the land should be leveled like this. So this is what known as leveling. Okay. Then what? We have learned that how seeds selection of and sowing of seeds. What we have learned? The seed must be planted at correct depth in the soil. The depth should be correct, right? If the depth is more or less, it will be not good. It should be of correct depth. Then soil should have right amount of water to germinate seeds. The amount of water that we put in the soil should be right amount. More or less may result in the plants to die, right? Seeds should be planted at right distance from each other. Distance of planting of seeds should be correct. It shouldn't be too close or it shouldn't be too far apart, right? It should be at a correct distance. Then seeds are shown manually by using a broadcaster or speed drill. So what we have done, we have told you, I have told you that what is broadcasting. When a farmer just throws the seed like this, it is known as broadcasting. Or you can use machines like here you see a seed drill. In developed country or in big farms, what they do, they use this seed drills where there is a funnel and the machine puts the seeds in uniform distance by its own. Okay. Then we have learned about what? We have learned about that some plants are grown somewhere else and then from there taken to the field. That is known as what? A seed bed or a nursery. And this process is known as what? Transplantation. Okay. Then we have learned about manuring, right? We have learned about manuring that plants need, there are many nutrients that a plant requires to grow, right? Which are divided into macronutrients and micronutrients. The nutrients which are required in more amount is known as macronutrients, and the nutrients which are needed less amount is known as what? Micronutrients. Macronutrients such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur are known as what? Micronutrients. And macro is what? Zinc, chlorine, copper, manganese, molybdenum, boron, all these what? Micronutrients. Okay. So we have also learned about method of cultivation. What? Fallowing. Fallowing is what? In fallowing, what do we do? In fallowing, we do agriculture. We do agriculture. Then what happens? Because the soil would lose its nutrients over time, and the plant, because the crops will use it all, what we will do? In 1 year, we will not do any cultivation. In 1 season, we will not do any cultivation, and that will help the soil to replenish its nutrients. Okay. Then crop rotation. What is crop rotation? We know that some crops are there. Suppose see, for example, here given what? Wheat or rice use huge amount of nitrogen. But when legume is what? The plants which gives us pulses. Legumes can be grown because it fixes nitrogen. Legume helps the soil to grow more nitrogen, right? So like this, we can, in 1 season we can grow one particular crop, and the other season what you can do is we can grow different type of crop, right? What will happen? This crop will help this crop to grow, and this crop will help this crop to grow. Suppose if one type of crops are grown over the year, many years, same type of crops is grown, same type of crops require same type of nutrients. Now what will happen? The nutrients in the soil will get over, right? So what do? We change the crop. We change the crop over time. Suppose this time this crop is there, next time we will grow different type of crop. Now what will happen? This crop will help this crop. This crop will help this crop to grow, and this crop will help this crop to grow. This is known as what? Crop rotation technique. Now there is one more. There is what? Multiple cropping, where in one particular field we can grow multiple crops at the same time, which helps each other to grow. Right? Now, soil fertility can be increased. Soil fertility can be increased in 2 ways: organic method and inorganic method. Organic method means one natural method by which we can use natural organic manures like cow dung, then manures, all these manures, right? We can use natural organic manures and increase the fertility of the soil. We can also use what? We can also use chemical fertilizer. We have learned about manures, right? Manures in the last class only I have done. The manures are organic matter composed of dead plants and animals, and when it is decomposed, it is known as what? Compost. Okay. Then chemical fertilizer. Chemical fertilizer are what? Concentrated nutrients. All the nutrients that plants needs, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all this, right? So this is known as what? Chemical fertilizer. So here in this page you can see there is difference of manures and fertilizers given. Number 1 is what? Organic substances obtained by the decomposition of dead plants and animal waste. Here are synthetically prepared. These are what? Organic substances. How do you get by decomposition of plants and animals? And these are synthetically prepared. That means what? These are prepared in a lab, synthetically. Okay? These are rich in organic matter but not rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. These manures are rich in organic matter but are not rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. These are rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium but without organic matter. There is no organic matter in chemical fertilizers. Prepared in fields, prepared in factories. These are prepared in fields, naturally prepared in fields, but these are prepared in what? These are prepared in factories with the help of various chemical equipments, right? Then voluminous, difficult to store and transport. In the concentrated form, less voluminous and easier to transport. What happens is, as we have learned that in manure there are very small amount of nutrients. So we have to add a huge amount of manures to get some amount of nutrients for the plants. But we know that in chemical fertilizer, what happens? The fertilizer are in what? Concentrated form, and that is why small amount of chemical fertilizer is enough to give nutrients to the plant. That is why it is less voluminous. Voluminous means their volume is more amount required, and that is why in chemical fertilizer it is less voluminous. That means what? It requires less quantity. That is why it is difficult to transport, because it is quantity is too much, and it is easy to transport because quantity is very less. Not readily soluble in water and so absorbed slowly by plants. So this manures we have learned that it takes long time for the plants to absorb, right? Because it is not easily dissolved, it can dissolve in water, right? But these chemical fertilizers are easily dissolved in water and be quickly absorbed by the plants. Okay. Not nutrient specific. Nutrient specific can be selected to correct the deficiency of specific nutrients in soil. See, these manures are not nutrient specific. That means there is on we can't. It is not like particular manure has this type of. Suppose there are different type of nutrients, right? There is what phosphorus is there, nitrogen is there, potassium is there. So only one type of nutrients if a plant requires, we can put this manure, because all the manures are mixed. Not a specific manure is not there. But in case of chemical fertilizer, only a specific. Suppose a plant only needs, suppose say potassium. We can just simply add potash in that. The name of the fertilizer is what? Potash. We can simply add potash and it will do the work. We can use potash and that will do the work, right? Now next is what? May contain harmful microbes, can harm the environment when washed into water bodies in large amounts. May contain harmful microbes. This may contains, the manures can contain harmful microbes, can harm the environment when washed into water bodies in large amounts. Same here also, when washed into water bodies, harmful to the environment. They both can be in some way or the other can be harmful for the environment, but this is less harmful and this is more harmful compared to each other. Okay. So students, till this point we have finished. Now what I will do is I will give you some questions. Okay. That questions you have to solve it by yourself. Use your book. See my discussion. In my discussion I have given you the answers. You can also use Google for that matter. Solve the question, send it to me. I will check it for you. And then memorize it, because I will give you names of students. In one day I will call certain amount of students and I will take test. I will do video calling. Okay. So students, that is it for today. Thank you very much for listening to the class. See you in the next class. Goodbye.